Good morning once more, my dear friends in Christ.
Good morning, sir.
Honestly, the call of Levi is one of the outstanding invitations that I consider among the many disciples that Jesus called into ministry. Well, I can understand with Peter, I can understand with James, I can understand with John, who had other businesses like fishing to do before Jesus gave them an invitation to come and follow him. Why do I say I can understand with them? If anything had gone wrong in quote with their following Jesus, they have a business to return to. They have something to fall back to. But I want you to consider the scenario of that of Levi. This was a tax collector who was considered among his people already a saboteur and one who had betrayed the Jewish community by forming alliance with the Romans to subjugate his own people through taxation. So if anything had gone wrong while he was following Jesus, he would have been rejected by the Romans and he would still be rejected by the Jewish community. So he will have no fallback. But his following Jesus, immediately Jesus gave him the invitation, tells us the extent he could give everything out in order to pursue this new cause. Believe me, every one of us who is following Jesus have a price to pay. Until it costs you nothing, then you are just a fan and not a follower. The attitude of Levi also played out. Immediately he got the invitation. The next thing we saw him with other tax collectors in his house having a dinner with Jesus, and one would begin to wonder what is going on here. In fact, those who passed by and saw him started accusing the disciples of Jesus that their master was eating and dining and wining with tax collectors and those that the society have already branded as sinners. But is it not interesting to note that Levi was not just given an invitation and he stopped at him, but who he became an attraction for other tax collectors to also want to know what is it about this new life that our brother has chosen. So that means that his conversion and new life became so contagious that other people saw reasons also to identify with Jesus. And there are many of us who have become Christians from the date of our baptism till date, some in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s, and in their 60s. And if I should ask you one simple question, how many persons you have brought to Jesus, you may not be able to count 3. But one, on just one day, the next evening, he already had a lot of people drawn to Jesus. So the gospel reading of today is pointing us to 2 directions. One is the cost of discipleship. The other is that our life must reflect who we follow. At this season of Lent, it is an invitation for every one of us also to have a rethink, to take count and ask ourselves, are we drawing people to Jesus or are we repelling people from Jesus? As we examine our hearts and have a rethink and redirection of our lives, may God continue to bless his words in us through Christ our Lord.
Amen.